what's the difference or the role of dreams and a vision? Well, the difference is huge, and I'm going to tell you why and how in this video. Welcome to another episode of Holistic Lifestyle Coaching with Ryan David. I'm Ryan David, and today's episode is actually the first video in a series of videos I'm going to be doing weekly called Distinctions. This is a series that I've wanted to do for some time now because in my studies, in my research, and my teachings, I've come across certain key terms and concepts that are closely associated or maybe similar or mistaken for one another. And I thought some of these terms are very useful and some of them are just generally used. It'd be nice if I could differentiate and distinguish between the ones that are generally used, misused, and the ones that are very powerful and have a specific meaning to them to help empower people and understand how to use them and apply them to their lives to get better results. My goal is to, as best I can, in as short a time as possible, really help you understand the specific differences between key terms and which terms will help you live with a little more intention, because you're gonna see that's a running theme, not just on my channel, but in these episodes specifically, intention and applying terms and concepts to your life that will help you live a life of intention and live with a little bit more meaning and do what you do on purpose and intentionally. Just some examples of distinctions to come, things like the difference between love and lust, or listening and hearing, or partying and celebrating. Those are just a few previews or samples of some of the words I'll be looking at. Some of them are a little bit more complex, but some of them are just everyday terms. And there are some specific differences between these terms and how we use them. But some of them you may be wondering over some time, what's the difference between love and lust? So some of the terms that I cover and I go over and I really look at and differentiate between, you may have heard of before, but I look to offer you a little bit more clarification and a little bit, maybe a different way of looking at something so that you can apply that term or that concept to your life and benefit from it accordingly. So I'll offer my insights as to what the differences are between those two terms, hence the name Distinctions. But today's distinction is actually a distinction that I made about 2 years ago, I think it was. I visited Washington, D.C. and I shot a video. It was freezing cold on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial on Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And my intention that day was to shoot that video and distinguish between the idea and the concept and the term dreams and vision. And obviously I chose that day because of the famous quote of "I have a dream." And that's what I elaborated on. So in that video, I'll link it above and I'll link it at the end of this video. You can check that out. In that video, I talked broadly about the differences between the idea of a vision and the idea of a dream. Today, I just want to give you some really specific differences and really just the succinct opportunity for you to understand and think about these two terms differently and how they apply to your life so you can really understand them moving forward and benefit from them accordingly. So let's get into it. Once again, Martin Luther King Jr. said, "I have a dream." And that's very catchy in the field of motivation and inspiration. You hear the word dream all the time. Chase your dreams. If you dream it, you can achieve it. The word dream is thrown around a lot, but I have an issue with the word dream. And my issue is that dreams are not intentional. Dreams just happen. They're just kind of abstract. You're not in control of your dreams. And so going back to Martin Luther King, he used the words, "I have a dream," but he had a vision. If you notice in the speech, after he says the words, "I have a dream," he went on to describe specifically what his vision is for the future. And so he said, "I have a dream," but he was using that word kind of as a synonym for vision. And now you might be thinking, so they're kind of the same thing. They're interchangeable. It's a synonym, but it's not. And this is the reason why. Again, dreams are not intentional. They happen by default. You're not actively involved in your dreams. So from a psychological standpoint, you play no role in creating your dreams. Dreams are for sleep. And so if you try to substitute the word dreams for what you're really looking for and trying to achieve, which is a vision, you miss that strong, important component, which is the active part of it. And that's the difference, the major difference between dreams and a vision. A dream is just an idea, something that's maybe thought up or pops into your mind, very abstract, and things may start with a dream, but what you want to look to do is turn that dream into a vision. A vision is specific. You play an active role as far as a vision is concerned. You're involved. You construct your vision. You use your imagination to create what it is that you want to achieve. That's creating a vision, as opposed to just thinking about or having some dream out there. It's a little bit more far-fetched and off in the distance or not real tangible. So the biggest difference between a dream and a vision has to do with our ability to be involved and dictate what happens and what takes place with one as opposed to the other. So understand the difference between something you consciously create with your imagination, which is a vision, and something that subconsciously happens that you're not a part of and just happens by default, which are your dreams. Don't mistake the two. And I understand you may use the word dreams when you're talking about your vision, but get into the habit of identifying what your vision is and then talking about your vision very specifically, intentionally, and strategically. So it may start as a dream. Sometimes you just get ideas or something comes to you, or you daydream up something and you fantasize about it, or whatever the case may be. It starts as a dream, but what you want to try to do is take that dream or that idea and then work down from there, the big dream, the big idea, and turn that into really specifically understand what you want out of that dream. Identify the specifics. Turn that dream into a vision by putting some specifics in there as far as what you want to do and where you're going for your future. So transform your dreams into a vision, because once you do that, now with your vision, you can set goals to make your vision come true, to really realize your vision. So you can't really, dream is so abstract. You have goals to get to a dream. You're missing a link there. So go from a dream to a vision. From the vision, you create the goals to accomplish that vision, to get that vision realized. And in terms of goals, how do you accomplish goals to then be able to realize your vision? Well, you have strategies to accomplish each one of your goals. And that actually brings me to my profession and what I do as a coach. One of the main things that qualified coaches do is they help individuals come up with strategies that are specific and unique to the individual's needs to help them accomplish their goals that are in line with trying to accomplish or achieve a certain vision. And that can be for an individual or a business. But you see how it works backwards, from the dream to the vision to the goals to the strategies and the steps to really execute on a daily basis to really help that bigger vision come true. So it may start as a dream, but understand what you're working on and working towards should be a vision that you've imagined and you've specifically kind of idealized in your head. And I've used the word specific a few times now, and that is very critical. That's key. Your vision needs to be specific. It needs to be very, very specific as to what exactly and where you want to go and what you want to do. But get away from throwing the word dream around, because it really doesn't have any handles, doesn't have any legs to it oftentimes. And you'll hear it very often, and we know what they're talking about. But as a personal habit, you can start looking at the word vision as something that has meaning, it's intentional, and it really will help you explore and ask yourself, what's my vision? What's my vision for my future? What's my vision for my family? What's my vision for my health? What's my vision for whatever the case is? And a specific image should pop up. And if you don't have one popping up, you may need to start looking into that area and coming up with what exactly you want to see, because one of my favorite quotes is, you'll never get what you want until you know what you want. So visualize and imagine, think about what you want specifically, and then you can start working on setting some goals to get there. And then when you have those goals, you start looking at some strategies on how to accomplish those goals to then get to your vision. So in summary, be mindful about the use of these words. If we're talking about a dream, you had a bad dream, or you dreamed something that was, fun or a fantasy, sure, that's when you use that term dream. But when we're talking about achievements, success, accomplishments, stop chasing your dreams and start pursuing your vision. That's my advice to you, and it has to do with the distinction that I made today. I hope this distinction gave you some clarification as to why it's important for you to pursue a certain vision as opposed to chase random dreams. Look out for future episodes of Distinctions that I'll be dropping weekly, and also other content that obviously is available will be coming out on my channel as well. The thumbs up button lets me know you like this content. The subscribe button is so we can stay connected, and I'll look for your feedback in the comments below. Until the next episode, take care. In here, this little baby ass light putting off like 4 billion degrees. Very nice. I like you. That's a pretty pink shirt you got there, boy. We can do sexy time. It's not pink. How now, brown cow? How now, brown? As to what the differences is, last video I did had a hair sticking out just like that. What if I did a whole video like this? Welcome to another episode of Holistic Lifestyle Coaching with Ryan David. This is my back. I got kissed by an angel. That's what that means, the little red dot. Distinctions, baby. Distinctions.